So, as a coffee snob, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you ever been to a friend's house? And don't say mine. A friend's house where they gave you a cup of coffee, you take 2 sips, and you politely just leave the rest behind.
My sister-in-law.
Oh.
My sister-in-law, they've gotten better, but their coffee was very light, super light, because they drink like 5 cups of it. You know, where I'd rather have half a cup of something amazing. Why do I want to drink brown water? You know. So their coffee was very light. But yes, I'm such a snob that even coffee businesses that are running this morning when I went to I just wanted something quick. So I got a little Americano, which is a shot of espresso with a little bit of water.
And it tasted like a French Philly.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
what
is this?
Who did you hold this coffee?
I think, with coffee, I don't know if you know this, but if you brew coffee too cold, it's sour. Mm-hmm. If you brew coffee with too hot of a water, it comes out bitter. Mm-hmm. And so there's this little sweet spot of temperature which
between
the
was it 195 and 212?
Exactly. No, 212 is too hot, so like 205.
207?
Yeah. So 197 to 205-ish is a sweet spot for coffee brewing. But this kid who did the shot, it was too cold, so the coffee was bitter. I was like, you don't know what you're doing.
I'll jump over this guy.
I'll just go over there and pull my own. Yeah, so I know you're less of a coffee snob.
I love coffee, but unfortunately for me, I was in the Marine Corps. And,
it's like whatever you get.
And, I drank coffee I made out in the field, So my snobbish for coffee, that's not where my snob lays,
Yeah.
I'm a tech snob.
What do you... Oh, I was about to say, what are you snobby about?
I'm a tech snob where don't give me your junky tech, but you could have whatever you want, Yeah. You obviously know, I love super duper brand new phones, tech,
that are fast. Yeah.
So that's where my snob lies, but it's a very expensive hobby, so I can't always indulge it.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have owned the OnePlus phones, which are more budget phones that are powerful. Mm-hmm. Do you have a little bit of snobbiness inside that it's not one of the top companies' flagship?
Never.
Okay, with them?
Because they've always given as close to flagship as they can. There's certain things that they don't do, but the last one that came out, the OnePlus 7 Pro, it's a beast.
Okay.
It's a straight beast. The worst part of it is
you just get restless. You want the next one.
The worst part of that phone was the camera, and the thing about OnePlus is they let's say the phone came out in March, right? Yeah. I think it was May or March. They've been like 12 updates. Oh. And like 4 or 5 of those are on the camera alone.
Really?
So if you took a picture...
Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No. Well, let me tell you. If you took a picture when the camera first came out, you're like, oh, that's nice. And you take a picture now, you're like, hey, that's respectable. Okay. I'm not ashamed to post this picture, this, that, and the other. And again, you're never ashamed, but it was never, ever going to be top 5 camera.
Not my Google Pixel. Never ashamed, baby.
You know what?
Yeah?
I'm going to say something controversial in the Pixel world.
Okay.
Everyone loves the pictures from the Pixel cameras. I think they're too contrasty and too sharp.
I agree. They oversharpen.
So
I agree.
So to me, that does not make it my favorite camera.
Yeah.
To me, my favorite camera is the Samsung with their the Note 9, then the S10, S10 Plus. Those cameras are not the greatest cameras. They're the best overall cameras.
So what, the processing? Because isn't it all software based? This contrast?
Well, no, because they do a lot of optical and software based stuff, and the picture is always nice.
It's nice.
You're never going to sit there and go, "Oh, that's the best picture I've ever seen." That's always like a Huawei or a Pixel. Yeah. But to me, that's not. I don't feel the same way. I love a camera that gives me a good picture. And then we went on this Muck Fest a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah!
And I rocked the camera, and it has this new thing called.
Your video was great.
It's called the Steady Shot, and it actually films the wide angle camera, crops for software. Stabilization, and it's like a GoPro.
Yeah,
I was very impressed with what came out.
Your stuff was better than my Yee.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that's pretty good. So again, I know the Samsung camera is overall in the market considered maybe top 5, top 3. To me, it'd be the one I would always grab because it gives me the best of everything.
Yeah, I think Google has tapped into what people like, which is sharpness and saturation.
Yeah, and I get it because while I don't feel that way, all I ever hear is there's no camera ever better than that one. That's the best camera that ever done.
You know who did screw up cameras is the iPhone. Oh. When they went to the algorithmic, let me smoothen your skin.
And it's a little orangey.
It's a little orangey too, right?
Yeah.
Their white balance is totally off.
I think the XR is more of a victim of that than when you go portrait mode specifically on the iPhone cameras, you get that orange hue.
But remember that time we were photographing with the X100 series when we went like by the water. You took the first portrait, portrait mode picture of me, and I felt that was beautiful. But I felt the colors were like orangey and stuff.
Yeah, it was a great bokeh looking thing, but it didn't have the right colors and stuff. And they're still considered top 3 in the camera game. Yeah, and I think that's just because so many people have iOS.
Yeah.
I think they need to step up their game.
Yeah, I think as photographers, we know what the pictures are doing for different phones, but since most people own iPhones, it's become the norm, like what a real picture looks like.
I'm saying I'm tired of looking at people's fake bokeh now. I'm like, oh, that's exaggerated bokeh. That's another thing about the S10 that it does. It actually, you don't have to crop in to take a portrait photo. So you can actually,
that's good.
So you can actually be back here.
That's good.
And because it has 3 cameras,
such a negative.
It has 3 cameras. It actually works together to create a bokeh without the crop.
Has anyone figured out foreground bokeh yet?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Easy, man.
That's the one that'll fool you. All right. Anyway, that was awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the Moe and O show. My name is Omar Gonzalez.
And I'm Omar.
And we're a photography-based podcast that talks about phones
and coffee.
Yeah. All right. So I just came back yesterday from Sony's event, Kando 3.2, and Kando is a word that just means like togetherness and community, and it's just a overall coming together thing. And the event it fulfilled its goal of getting a bunch of people together and just everyone being excited about meeting others that are doing freaking awesome things, man. It wasn't about, they did release 2 new cameras, but never once was it like thrown in our face. It was all about the people and all their little promo videos we saw and stuff. It was great to see these people like climbing mountains. You know, it was like the typical like promo video of like yeah. I'll try to link it up below. I think they have it on their alpha channel.
So the whole thing is about good marketing is to not realize you're being marketed.
Unbelievably well said.
And I think what they did is they put you in an environment where you're going to see their products. You're going to use them to take pictures because they let you use some of their stuff. At the same time, they're not forcing you to grab their stuff. They're just, here it is.
Here it is. Borrow what you
want.
Borrow
what you want if you want to. They had other people there. They had people with lights set up.
Yeah, the Stella Pro lights, which were unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about the Stella Pro lights, you were telling me that they're just like little constant lights.
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little later in this episode.
And I thought that was pretty amazing. But this whole thing, like, everything's there. They're giving you, everything to do and actually be involved with their products while at the same time not shoving the product in your face. That is the best kind of marketing, where you're actually involved with the product, you're using the product, and you could instantly make a decision whether or not you would use this in the real world, and are you going to go back and talk about it. So that's the whole thing. And that's like, listen, this is worth the money we're investing in bringing these people in, because we're sure they're going to like our stuff. We're not going to cram it down their throat so they won't feel like they're being what's that word? Time shared into staying here.
Yeah.
And when they leave here, they're going to have a positive experience that they're going to want to share.
Yeah, that's well said. And the positivity was, they've got great products, so they don't have to like fool you or, jump through hoops to try to fool you into thinking that this is like distract you from the junkiness. Mm-hmm. The cameras were taking unbelievable pictures. The first day we went out and we were like on this horse ranch that it was super misty, and just a bunch of photographers, about like 20 of us, were out on this field, and the horses had no saddles. They were free to run around, and the wranglers were like running them around. And so people were testing their autofocus. They were testing you saw my slow-mo vid?
Mm-hmm. That was nice.
That's like the best video I ever shot.
That was an epic. I cried when I was looking. I was like, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah, I was like, unbelievable.
That's what I heard in the background. I heard like, dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I should play Enya over it. Yeah.
I'm like, that's so beautiful.
That was just switching, that on your camera, those of you that have Sonys, you have this little S&Q mode, and that shoots 120p slow-mo without any sound. So if you actually did want sound in your video, you can actually change all the settings to 120p and then take it into post. But if you want to in camera just have wild horses running, you just flip it to SMP, and I would just shoot, And they were like, it's just already in camera, and then you add music to it. So for those of us that are not videographers and we want to speed ramp and do all this stuff, it's such a great mode on the camera. Mm-hmm. I mean, our phones have slow-mo if we wanted.
But not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, the people are proud when they're halfway decent on the phone. But
I know. So the first day was horses, and I rented I made a video on it if you guys want to watch it. We can link that up below too. But we could borrow anything we wanted. There were Sony artisans there, which are the top photographers who do National Geographic. Ira Block is there. Those of you that know Ira Block, he's a National Geographic photographer that just travels all over the world. And there were Collective, which are people who use the Sony cameras exclusively. And then there were invitees, which were mostly YouTubers. And press. So the YouTubers press, we kind of like would sit together in lunch and we would just talk shop about YouTube. We would talk about other cameras and how they compare. So our little circle of table was the one that probably was, talking other than Sony stuff. And really a great trip.
The rebels of the group.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. Now that you're a sellout,
where's my Sony gear? Oh my God! Yeah.
So no, actually, it's funny. I say that jokingly, but I say that with a little tinge of reality to it. First thing I saw when I was watching your videos, I was like, "Wow, that's so cool. That's so much fun. Look, he's putting on the Sony gear. Oh, they're gonna bash him." They're gonna bash him.
All on purpose. Do you know that?
Yeah. And then he's like rocking the Sony gear. He's just leaving it on and he's not taking it off. Yeah.
The logos.
And then like lo and behold, I make a mistake. Obviously, everyone knows how Omar and I have a budding bromance, and we defend each other to the death, pretty much. And I read some comments that weren't angry, hostile, negative,
not at all.
But they were negative not negative. They were questioning. Yeah. They were questioning.
Why would I jeopardize my integrity by going on this trip?
And the first thing I said, the first thing I defended him a couple posts. I said to one of them person, like, he's not doing anything but attending something he was invited to. If you were invited to, you would do the same thing.
Let me stop you right there. Hold on. What's your thought? Exactly. If someone invited you, hey, there's 3 days, we're going to Oregon, we're going to pay for your room and board, we're going to pay for your food, we're going to pay for your flight, just come along. There's no promises on that you need to do anything. There's no requirements. Would you say yes?
What human being would say no to that?
I know. Especially,
and be honest with themselves about saying no to that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what the gentleman was bringing up was, will I be honest about Sony products?
Right. One of the questions, another thing was that now that you're doing this, are we going to be able to trust what you're saying is going to be authentic? Because are you going to be afraid of losing these invitations in the future?
Yeah, that's true. And I think that is a valid point. The whole influencer thing, I think, is becoming a little bit it's becoming a problem. Mm-hmm. And so I think people need to use their radar on who's being influenced and who's reporting. For example, I use Gordon Lane as the perfect example of, he is a journalist who has a blog on gear, and he's reporting back to you. He's reporting his findings. He could be invited to every freaking event there is. He has a system, and in my opinion, he tells you everything about the camera flat out, right? So he's on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, no names, there's some YouTube channels that only use Sony gear, and go to all the Sony events and rarely ever pick up another camera and don't pick it up, So I think there are influencers that you need to put your little rate. If you're shopping.
Influencers who are influenced.
Yes.
And that's the dangerous part right there. And that's what, and I guess because I know you, the person also correctly identified the bias there. And I kind of know the kind of person you are, where you've had stuff sent to you, you've told everyone about the product, and then at the end of the day you said, this is probably something I won't use. Yeah. But there's probably a market out there for it. And that's exactly where I figured you're going to keep going. Same thing. Yeah. Like for instance, Flossie Carter. Yeah. World famous. Yeah. Flossie Carter's thing, he does sponsored videos. Not a lot of them. Okay. But when he does a sponsored video, he tells you about the product, what it does. He tells you the video is sponsored.
He tells you at the beginning it's sponsored?
I don't know how that works.
Oh, right, go.
But he definitely lets you know by the time you're done, you realize this is a sponsored video, because he talks about the product, tells you what it does, its specs, and then he kind of wraps it up.
Okay.
Then he does a real review.
Oh,
when he does a real review that's never sponsored, he tells you, yo, this is trash or this is the bomb. And then he'll tell you, like, you know,
it's a major go.
He'll tell you, if you saw that video I did the other day on the Moto whatever, that was a sponsored video. You didn't hear me telling you how I love it, how I use it, how I rock it. You heard me tell you the specs. You heard me tell you what it does.
Maybe he's smart. Maybe that's
and that's all I tell you about it, because that's a sponsored video. I'm being paid to present that to you.
Yeah.
I'm not being paid to give you my opinion of it.
That's cool.
He's like, no one pays for my opinion.
That's a great point.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I love Flossie Carter. But of course, if you're very sensitive to cursing and stuff like that, or sexual innuendos, don't watch Flossie Carter.
Yeah. He's got his audience for sure. I love him. Are you sponsored? Are you not sponsored? And let's just be clear about me personally. I have my own business. And I make my money. I don't make my money on YouTube. That's number one. And I need the best gear for that business. I need the best gear that can autofocus quickly, that can give me the best results, the best files. I've chosen Canon and Sony for my professional work. And the irony of it is that people follow me because of Fujifilm. And that's my fun, go out.
That's another thing I defended
photography.
You with.
Yeah.
I said, like, you know, first of all, he's not saying he stopped using Fuji.
I know.
He loves his Fuji. That's all he ever takes out when he goes on his family vacations.
Yeah.
And I think if that doesn't give a ringing endorsement of how you feel about Fuji, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, you're looking for professional help, and let's be honest. The world of professional Fuji shooters, it's not a big one.
I know.
It's not a big one.
I know.
And obviously the XT3 and the X3, no, the XT and the X30, XT30.
Oh, XT30, XT3, yeah.
Both of those are moving closer to being able to be a professional level camera. Not yet.
No, what's holding them back is ergonomics and battery life.
Battery life.
The main thing.
We were out for like an hour and a half this morning, and your battery died.
I had to switch it.
Yeah. So, and I had the Sony battery, which was
Please, the Z will go all day.
It was like still like only a quarter drink. I'm gonna get out of here with that. I got all day, baby.
So there I am switching batteries, which I don't mind. I'm doing it for fun, but definitely for pro stuff.
But again, we're not trying to make this video into
versus
thing. We're just saying that you're still rocking Fuji, you still love Fuji, and someone inviting you somewhere. Do you feel that you need to tell people on your next video where your stance is on these kind of things of being asked?
No, my next video is going to be another setup video for some Fujifilm menu items. And then another video was going to be about a feature on Sony cameras for focus. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like I want to be able to share what I'm learning myself. I am not a poster child for a brand. That's not, you know.
I think...
Now, hold on. Let's just say flat out that if I'm approached by Sony and they're going to pay me, you know, influencer's different than paid. Right. You know, to become a ambassador, which is their top, you know, ambassador gets paid to speak. You know, the gear is good enough that is a bonus being paid. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm using different cameras, but if a company pays you and you're upfront about it, then you know what? You're going to lose all your Fujifilm fans. But if you're doing something in a brand you believe in, that could happen. You know, I'm going to leave that door open in case it happens. You know,
right. Again, and honestly, like you said, you're going to lose some fans. But I think, as a person watching anyone do a video, and that's what we do here on YouTube, right? Anyone or listening to these podcasts, anytime you actually are watching or listening to someone, they're there to give you information, but at the same time promote what they're doing. So who are you, or who is anybody, and correct me if I'm wrong, to stop someone from making money, as long as they're honest about it. As long as you're saying, I'm an ambassador, as long as you're saying,
I'm selling presets.
Fuji is doing this for me, so this is what I'm doing for them, buy their stuff. If you're being honest about it, and that's another thing I worry about too, is even if people are being upfront and honest, are people going to believe they're being upfront and honest?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's human nature to doubt.
It's
human nature to doubt. So does this one of those lose-lose situations where just be who you are and have people accept you for who you are?
Yeah, exactly. And I love I love the people who in the comments are like, Omar, I don't care if you're shooting on a Polaroid. Like, I want to be with you.
Shooting on a Polaroid.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Right. Do you understand? So they want to just go through my journey of learning and teaching and being excited about photography. Like, who cares what you're using, kind of thing.
Ultimately.
And the people who are offended, like, I'm subbing because I bought a Fujifilm because of you, you mother father. You know, it's like accusatory, or how do you say that word? Accusatory.
Yeah, you said it. But the whole thing is like, did they really buy it because of you? Because if that's all it takes, then you're over influenced in life.
Yeah, I'm over influencing.
No. That person is easily over influenced.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If you take one person's word for something and never do it, if you don't go out there, hold it, grab it, honestly, if Omar helped push you to that direction that you were already leaning, that's one thing. But if Omar talking about how to make certain settings, because he's never sat there and pushed a Fuji product in your hand. Yeah. He uses them and he loves them. And he showed you how to use the menu. He showed you how to do the lens zoom and whatever and the focus distance. All that stuff he's done, but he's never pushed a Fuji in your hand. So
I do have affiliate links like in the thing because that's another source of revenue. It takes time to make YouTube videos.
Right.
And people are getting information for free.
Right.
You know, they're getting lessons for free. You used to have to be able to pay to go to school.
That's the whole thing. Again, you're still not pushing it on. You're like, hey, if you do buy one, there's a link below.
Yeah, they don't have to use the link.
But the whole thing is, if watching videos that Omar made it seem like it's so much fun to have a Fuji and you went out and bought one, that wasn't Omar that made you buy one.
Yeah.
You picked up your wallet, you opened it, you put it on the table, and you bought your own thing. Learn a little bit of your own responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
We're all adults, and if you're buying something, you're an adult, hopefully, and you're making your own decisions based on information provided on what Omar did as well as what someone else's did. But you also have to do your own homework when you're spending anything over $100 on something.
Yeah. I think people are easily, there's all levels of people, and the people who are duped on the street, manipulated, who are hacked, I mean, they're the people who they can't read when someone is, being too much of an influencer versus someone that's trying to actually be honest. Mm-hmm. Now, the gentleman did bring up a good point. Like, will you refrain? I don't know if he brought this up, but will you refrain from bashing because you're at an event? You know what? You still have to critique, but I'm not going to say like F Sony if I'm at their event, just to either be a shock jock.
What are you going to do, Baba Booey?
Yeah, right. To be a shock jock, Howard Stern in the old days kind of thing. I think I will critique it like a Gordon Lane, respectfully, what they could have done.
Isn't that what we decided after I bashed the iPhone XR and we bashed the Nikon cameras? The first thing we said after that video was, I will never bash something until I have it in my hands and I've used it, and then at that point not even bash it. We'll say
our key phrases were,
this is what I wish I would have seen.
And that's the right way to do it, man.
Again, we're not innocent because we did cross that. I did personally cross that bridge. I bashed Apple to death. I bashed Nikon to death. But then I grew up a little bit since then, and I realized, you know what, that was wrong of me to do, and I don't think I'm going to do that going forward. But that's not. We can't control the rest of the YouTube world. Yeah, we can't control the rest of the podcast world. We can only take care of what we do here. So I don't see you. When's the last time you actually bashed something on a video?
The XT30. Oh, bash. The XT30.
Yeah.
Flat out the stupid.
Grippy. You hate the grip.
I hate that the location of the cue. Maybe someone could live with the removal of buttons and that function, like the swipey. I'm already getting mad here. Hold on.
See me cut it.
So no one said anything about that.
Right.
Because most of my followers are Fujifilm followers, no one had a problem with my bashing because I respectfully bashed. I said I personally want buttons on a camera. But people see Sony and that I have Sony, and of course it's like I'm a
fake a fraud.
A fake a fraud.
Fake fraud.
I like that. I'm a fake a fraud.
Hey, give me sandwiches.
So the other great thing, so we're good with that, influencers?
Yeah.
Look, use your radar, people. I'm going to continue to be honest, but really, if I'm invited to an event, my mama raised me right. I'm not going to bash the company. I will respectfully give critiques. Let's put it that way. If you're watching me at a Sony event, I will respectfully give critiques.
And not only that, I guarantee, though, if you got to the event and you felt some kind of way, you would let us know that you felt some kind of way.
I don't know. That food was good.
The
room was big.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, for example, the 24 to 105 f4 lens. I borrowed it from them. Sharp.
Heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say sharp, beautiful focal range, amazing lens, completely boring. It wasn't an exciting lens with because it's a workhorse.
So when I first, you purchased it. When I first got the Sony, I had nothing.
Yeah.
So I got the 24-70 f4,
and then you returned.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a good event lens.
2.8 or f4?
It was an f4.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it for the two events I used it for, but it didn't do anything for me.
I know, right?
I got the 24-105. I love the ability to not have to swap lenses throughout the whole event. But it didn't do anything for me.
I know. What that baddest, once you see an image that comes out of that, right? The sharpness to bokeh ratio over. Well, we're getting into lenses now, but
So I get what you're saying.
So I did. That's one thing I did not super like. But what I did like, buddy, they gave out prizes.
What kind of prizes? Tell me.
They gave out a bunch of stuff. They were
first of all, that grab bag they gave you just for showing up. You did a 15-minute video. You spent like 11 of it just emptying out that bag. I'm like, damn, they gave you everything.
The bag
itself was awesome.
It was like a think tank, like $300 bag. Yeah. And I gotta show it to you. It's like so good, the bag. Oh, here it is here.
I love think tank.
I know.
That's what my messenger bag was.
Feel this. Like it's nice. To go, this bag is to go up a mountain, man. Isn't that crazy? Mountain Man.
Oh, I like the side panels too.
Anyway, so I'll explain to everyone. Sony was, first of all, the event was a fantastic collaboration with a bunch of photographers, meeting photographers, but they also had so much to photograph. They had dogs there. They had models. It was just a wonderful way to get a new, you just like rub that bag completely for like you were like.
It was so nice.
I could hear you in the background like, dude, relax, don't hump my bag.
Too late.
And it inspired me to like stylize my shoots, man, because they had professional people with like racks of clothes and they put together like cool shoes with beautiful dresses and the accessories. Like someone is a master there at stylizing.
And deep down inside, you're like, do I really want to do this? I think I want to do this. But then you're like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But they give you the opportunity.
How many shoots you been to where people are just wearing regular clothes? You know, I know.
No, I'm kidding.
We wear regular clothes, and this was like stylized. Like, oh man, that brought the level of the photography way up. The makeup artists, the hair, and the clothes. You could just, with your phone, take a picture and rock it.
That's what it is. Like last time I did a good photo shoot with a makeup artist and somebody who brought like multiple outfits, it does make a difference.
Damn.
It makes a big difference. You feel it because one, there's less things. The model's not worried about things. You're giving them the outfits that you want to see on them. I mean, it just makes it.
Oh, I got a good example for you. You know Eli Infante?
Tell me about him.
I got to hook you up with his social media. He is from Texas, and he shoots beautiful portraits, like wide 35. But he said that's his next step. He said his next step is he's already like conquered kind of like what lighting he wants and focal range, 35-ish, stylizing his shoot. He did a shoot where the girl had an orange soda with an orange shirt and like the background kind of had some orange. It looked beautiful. It was like all balanced. And so he said he's going to start like stylizing more, going to thrift shops and getting cool, like beautiful. That's awesome.
That set of shoots I did with the 512 clock in the back.
Yeah,
I provided the outfits for that, and I had these shawl over the top things, and having that the model have one less thing to think about. It's just exactly. First of all, in a real photography world, you want to control everything.
That's true.
You want to see what they're wearing. You want to. If I ever do a boudoir shoot, I always say bring multiple outfits. Let me see what you're wearing, and then I dress them. And then another thing, if you are out there wanting to learn how to do or are doing boudoir photography, tell your model she cannot wear underclothes to the shoot. I mean, she's going to be fully dressed, but no bra. And if you're going to do bare sides of the back or a thong on the back, not to wear, I don't want to say granny panties, but you know what I'm talking about, panties that come up to the side because you're going to have indents in the skin that are going to be hard to Photoshop later.
Oh, you're saying because they spent all morning walking in
this.
Oh, okay.
So have them come to your shoot without a bra on, or...
That's a good behind the scenes thing. I never even thought of that.
Stuff I've learned over the shoots.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, what was I saying?
That was funny. That's a great advice. Instead of having straps that you have to Photoshop.
Because you can never... those little straps are so hard to Photoshop, you could tell you Photoshopped it. So what was I talking about? I lost the whole point.
We were talking about... let me talk about Stella Pro lights, because that's related to... So step one is Sony took care of all the styling, the hair, and the makeup. So the models looked amazing. Step two we were on this field where like golden hour is going down. But what do you do if you have 30 photographers that are at an event and no one has triggers and lights? You have constant lights. So they brought in, Sony partner with Stella Pro lights. Stella Pro lights is like an old scuba diving lighting company that has done video, and now they're moving into the photography market. These are really powerful continuous lights that can almost overpower the sun. They're not going to go all high-speed sync on you, but when you want to fill shadows, you can direct light your model. You get like a beautiful little ding, that essence that gives you a step above your competition. Beautiful. So,
and if you're doing as close to natural light and you have that little bit of fill and you can see it before you shoot it, it just makes a world of difference.
Yeah, so I'm interested to try those lights indoors where I have a 2-light shoot. Like we did, remember the temple where you helped me video? Is to do the same exact thing with large lights but continuous. Like so I could see what the hair light is doing. How great would that be?
It's awesome.
Instead of, poof and then changing your powers.
Did Robert Scotland?
Yeah, he does in low light. He does
continuous light.
He partners with them with Stella Pro lights. Yeah. So I think that's my next step is to explore. So check out Stella Pro Lights. I thought that company was fantastic and doing really cool things.
Did they pay you to say that?
Yes, they just did.
Cha-ching, money, son.
That'll be, yes, my check is in the mail. Yeah. No, they didn't. But.
Hey, so I heard you actually won something while you were there.
Oh, yes, I did.
What did you win while you were there?
Have you ever heard of a Gnarbox?
No.
This brought to you by Gnarbox.
You know what? Why don't we just start putting like cha-ching signs every time you say something?
My bank account, like the little affiliate link thing.
A quarter.
It's like
a quarter.
It's like the Jerry Lewis. Act now, guys. And no. The funny thing about all right, let me tell you what a Gnarbox is, and then tell you how fate jumped in. A Gnarbox is a portable hard drive to make on-location backups. And it's a smart system where all you do is take your SD card, put it in, close it, turn on the Gnarbox. It automatically backs up the card. Hold on. I don't want you to touch it. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh. It'll back up the card, right? Not only that, it has its own Wi-Fi.
What?
And so now they have mobile apps where you can work off this drive. So I can, with an iPad, this is going to be my future workflow because I've already been playing with it. That's the battery. You broke it, damn it. So listen to this. You have this in your bag. You throw your card in. You open up your iPad, all your raw files, humongous raw files, are being referenced off this.
Wow.
They're not on your iPad. When you're ready to work on one, you can move it and then take it to Lightroom Mobile, work on it, and then you can put a copy back in here or send a copy to Dropbox or the cloud.
Awesome.
And it's designed to do video. It's not even designed. I mean, it's designed for photographers, but videographers on the field can see they can scrub through their video footage because the Wi-Fi is so strong that they can scrub through their footage before they actually start working on it.
Did you win this?
So the thing was, I borrowed one to start testing it because remember the plan that we said that at an event we want to be able to post pictures right away.
Right.
This was my solution, was that I can give my guy in chair the card and that you on an iPad can start looking, or a laptop, looking at the photos and pick fun ones. So that was my solution. So I started testing it, and then there was a dinner, and they were raffling off stuff from people who use the hashtag Sony Kando trip. I'll put that hashtag right here.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. And they called my name for the Gnarbox. Oh. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is totally rigged.
It's a scam.
But I won it. Now I'm an influencer. Yes. But it's so funny. I actually believe in this product.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Especially now when you said iPad, because Lightroom for iPad has come a long way. When I first used iPad Lightroom 3-4 years ago.
You went right to Snapseed.
I was like, this is garbage. All right, good done. But, now it's like, wow. I mean, Adobe's slow to move. But they're moving, and they're coming along for the ride.
This mobile, which I haven't taken advantage of, is why people are sticking around with Lightroom instead of Capture One and the other ones. People like this Lightroom mobile.
It is amazing. I did even downloading the new one, thinking my old ways, thinking this is going to be garbage. I'm wasting my time. And I'm like, wow, I did a really great. It really did it was just like using the full scale one on my iPad.
Yeah.
So Good for them.
Yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. This is a 512 gigabyte, so it's definitely not a storage forever.
Right.
It's a working drive that you can have on the field.
I mean, 500 gigs for quick moving, if you're not doing video, that's pretty good.
They're pricey, though. I mean, because they have all the technology behind them.
But
I think
what did you just say? You said backs it up, you got Wi-Fi.
And I think it's like
it
500.
sounds like a commercial. It does really sound like a commercial. Yeah. But no, I'm saying for all that, you're going to expect to pay a little bit. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money, then take your chances and wait to get home.
Yeah. And you know who this is good for? Single card wedding shooters. Even though their card can still go corrupt in the camera.
It'll corrupt in here too.
Stupid.
Dumb card.
So overall, Kando was like an unbelievable event. And yes, I'm a sellout. It's all going to be Sony now, baby. Just kidding. And I definitely down the road want to take advantage of more, not just Sony events, but when there's meetups and stuff, because the best part was like hanging out with other photographers and other YouTubers. If you haven't seen my Manny Ortiz biking with Manny Ortiz,
that was funny. A
little behind the scenes, we actually were biking together because there was this little lull in the day. He didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. So I'm like, let's go take a ride around. And the only camera I had in my pocket was my little stupid Yi camera. And I said, hey, can I film a quick video? He was so down with it. I'm like, you want to be the cool guy in it? I'll be the dork, because I am, and you are the cool guy.
There's no acting involved.
Yeah, there's no acting. So I said, I just need you to do some dirty looks. And he, on point, was like, his acting was...
That was what I said. I said to George, our friend George, I said, either Manny was all in, or he's a jerk, because those were awesome.
He was so good.
It was such a Tom and Jerry. Hey Spike.
Yeah. That was my favorite. Was like, Manny, look what I can do. And a lot of these. This is the collab power. The collab power was I have Manny Ortiz here, someone who I respect. And like, what can we do together where, I'm using his coolness, because that's what Manny Ortiz is. He's someone that you will follow and listen to. And then my dorkiness, like, it's the odd couple.
It was awesome. And then people who don't realize that Manny was in on it, there was only two people, and there was times where Omar was being filmed. So guess who was doing the filming, right?
I know. That's so funny. I didn't even think of that. That people are like, man, that Manny's a jerk. Your cameraman, though, he's good. Yeah. No, it was funny. We would pause, and so many of the moments were spontaneous. Like, for example, when he turns at the stop sign, he didn't use hand signals. And like, I just played off that. Right. Like, I actually biked in front of him and did you didn't use hand signals. And then I stopped the bike. I go, stop. Can you film me doing a hand signal? And so he's like, hold on. You could, if you see the behind the scenes, he's like, hold on, get in the camera. And then I'm like, go.
It was
so fun. It was such a good collab.
It's fun.
And then what was great after we finished that, you never have an idea of what the creator's going to do. When I saw him the next day, he's like, I died. He saw it 100 times. Like, he rewatched it. And that made me feel so great.
It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. But you belong with that group. You just have to get more followers.
All right, man.
5 more.
All right, this was fun, man.
All right, well, listen,
I love you, brother.
I'm glad you enjoyed your time. I'm glad they picked you because, it lets you realize that, people are seeing your work and you're doing really good work.
Yeah.
So, we love you here at our channel, and let alone your own channel. So good luck, keep going, and don't forget us.
I'll bring you.
We'll be here.
All right.
We'll be here, always love you. Up top.
Peace. See you guys next time.